fairly fresh and still dusty from Rampage.
Yeah, this Rampage bike, it's funny because I brought it back, and then we go to our local bike shop, MB, and there's a couple of guys in there that are super OCD about cleaning bikes. So I walked in there and I was just like, do not clean that thing. So I knew what they'd do. You can just see, I'm like, I want to clean it. So it's got a bit of Rampage dust. The helmet doesn't. The helmet, we had big ideas of hanging my bike and my helmet on the wall and keeping it all nice, but I actually don't care anymore.
No. Well, Max behind the camera is a massive Rampage fan, and I know he was frothing at the fact that he got to touch a bit of Rampage history.
Wicked.
And got dust on his
finger.
I'm
afraid like that the plan was to hang the helmet up and this is a cool. After the seemingly whatever result we got, I got over that quite quick, and then suddenly the bike and the helmet's not quite as worth as much hanging on the wall. Like, there's my to my kids, it's like, or whoever cares, there's my 11th place helmet and 11th place bike. But so yeah, the helmet's got Dovey dirt all over it. I went for my mate's 40th birthday party up at Dovey. So.
Well, while we're on the subject of Rampage, we should probably talk about that a little bit. I actually bumped into Ben Deakin the other day, and he told me it was the most gutted he'd ever seen you after that run. Yeah. After you guys had put in so much effort in the desert.
Yeah.
You nailed that line. The score was seemingly poor.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, everything was a big whirlwind this year because we came in more prepared than we ever had. Lovely painted bike, lovely painted helmet. My kit was all looking fresh. We came into a line that we'd already done 4 weeks work on previously. And it's not just 4 weeks of work. It's like 4 weeks of like anxiety, sleepless nights, figuring out where you're going, what to do, like planning your days, literally blood, sweat and tears all go into from all three of us. There's a huge amount of emotion and time, and it's not just, like I said, the time that we've done digging. It's like beforehand, like going through Google Maps, looking at previous rampages, trying to figure out where you go and this and the other. So obviously now that line, we've done 6 weeks of work on it between three of us. So there's a huge amount more than just a line sitting on the side of a hill.
Yeah.
It goes into it, and like and like flipping over the canyon and doing this and that and testing stuff is like hugely above my pay grade, I feel, when I'm there. It's like
really?
Well, yeah, like I'm a downhill racer, and then downhill racing was going really well, and then I snapped my ACL, and then that was a bit of a pain in the arse or pain in the knee, and then came back from that, and then I just sort of was quite aware that I love bikes so much that racing was cool, but I'm putting a lot of effort in to get. I was at the time top 5 in the world, fighting for a top 3, blah de blah, having a great time. And then after my ACL came back, and I was really fighting to even be top 10. And I was putting a lot of work in behind the scenes and coming back, even though people think that I don't put any work in behind the scenes. So he doesn't train this other, which I thought was quite funny. But still putting a lot of work in behind the scenes. It mattered a huge amount to me, and I was struggling to be top 10 or top 15 even. And then I saw some back in the day, some like sort of jump competitions or freeride or YouTube or this, and I was like, and I was hugely into filming, because that's why I was where we are today. It's watching earthed and sprung videos and that, and so I got into other stuff, and I was getting invited to different contests and doing filming and edits, and I was loving all that. And then that's how we eventually went to Rampage that first time.
Because you've been 6 times, is that right?
No, I've been, I think 8.
Is it 8 times?
Yeah, 8 or 9 times. Yeah.
You've got 4th twice, is that right?
Yeah, I've got I've had a snapped ACL. I've had 2 dislocated and smashed up thumbs. I think I've had a 10th, 2 8ths, 2 4ths, and an 11th. So yeah, but it's been a huge part of my career, really, looking back.
Is that why you kind of keep going back then, even if is that the reason why you keep returning?
Yeah, and like we have had some of the most amazing times, like when we're out there. Like my whole life doesn't have much routine. There's no routine. It's like MBUK podcast on Thursday, go do a new Troy Lee catalogue shoot on Wednesday, fly to somewhere cool and amazing to go launch a new bike, and the next day there's no routine. So what I really love about Rampage is that we go there, and for 10 days it's just wake up at 6 in the morning, have our coffee, talk about what we're going to go and do in the day, have our notepad of what we're ticking off that day, and you get 10 days of that every day. You leave at 6, you get back to the hotel at 9 at night, and then what this year would be doing is I'd be filming throughout the day of what we'd do, get back, upload everything I've done, edit till like 12, 1 in the morning. As soon as you get up in the morning, wake up at 5, go and upload it onto YouTube. Luckily, I had someone helping me do my thumbnails, so it's a huge process and just like it's nuts, and it's a huge routine that we're doing every day. And I loved that. I loved that side of it. I loved I know it's like that 10 days of like routine was cool because we had a plan, we had a thing, and then it gets to the day where you have to ride, and I'm just like, oh no, this is upset our routine. I was banned from the pickaxe the last 2 days before riding, banned from the rock bar. See, it just rips your hands apart, rips everything apart.
Yeah.
But and it's just like a real camaraderie between us three, and like we're just getting a job done, and we don't see really any other lines or athletes or anything. You just, at the beginning, the first week is just the athletes, diggers, and then you go down for lunch, and it's just like, it's a cool little camaraderie. And then suddenly like media start coming in, and you're almost like going, oh, I don't want the media to come in. Like, it was piss off, guys, just leave us in the desert digging our lines and doing the stuff. But then it quickly becomes real, because then you have to start testing all your stuff. You don't know whether what you've spent the last 10 days on is going to work or not, and then you've been pulled in a million different directions, like bike check here, then you got media up there, and like every single thing you do, there's like 20 different media around you, like sniping you, and it's really bloody tough. And then you suddenly just think, shit, I've got to ride or do something that better than I've ever done after 10 days digging on something that we've just dug and like dreamed up, we don't even know works. Like, hate to bring up the lad sciencing, it's just we're just sciencing something that can you even get across there, like,
right.
And often like you can't, like, you've done 10 days of work with you and your friends, and you spend so much time around a thing. The first day of testing, you could case it, go over the bars, smash both your thumbs up, and then you've wasted your time.
I was going to ask about, when you're coming up with the lines, how do you balance the risk and reward?
Yeah.
Because obviously you're like you said, you're trying to do it as best you can, but there's also that element of, judging. So making it risky and scary and look amazing versus, self-preservation and stuff like that. It's really different. I was going to say, like, it's really different to say hardline, which is a set course, which has a ton of gnarly stuff on, but you're not making any of those decisions. That course is taped for you.
Yeah.
Whereas you're having to go, okay, I'm going to go over this canyon, and if I fall into it,
that's like a huge amount of experience has to come into it. That's why often you see someone that first comes to Rampage their first year, it's way too overwhelming. You might not manage your days right, and you might not finish your line. Then you have to like compromise and ride another bit, or like you've bitten off too much than you can chew because you've made something that's too big, and then you've got to test it, and you're tired. And that's why often first time rampages, like you got to learn to dig there, you got to learn to use the rocks, you got to learn to use your sandbags right, you've got to learn to manage those 10 days, and then remember that you've got to ride it all in one go at the end. You've got to manage wind, you can only ride up until 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning most days, because then the wind comes too much, and it's like so much shit to take in. That's what I mean. It's not just that's why I think there's a lot of older guys that are at Rampage, because you've made all those mistakes and you learn it, and it's like, that's why I was hugely impressed with Tom Eisted this year, coming in, and he would have done seemingly super well, but he came in, he managed this, and he came in, and I said to Olly, I was like, he's going to blow up straight away. We know Tom quite well, but he came in, he spoke to us, he's like, yeah, I just want to get through this, learn. And I was like, wow, that's like a really mature way to approach it. What helped Tom, I think he had Connor McFarlane on his team, so he's a veteran of it, knows how to do it, hugely hard worker. Joel, good team around you. And yeah, I was super impressed with how he operated and got through it. But yeah, it's tough. And then this year we just built to our strengths, and we built what we think's cool, what we think Rampage should be about, and whatever. But it's just not anymore. I think we really got the wrong end of the stick, and Rampage is not that anymore, which is fine. Which is cool. And what's hard about it is like we had like 2 weeks or more of like hugely positive stuff. We had a really cool time. Everything went really well. Like Olly sorted out little things, like not little. Olly sorted out a Nissan truck. So we got to the airport. We had this sick Nissan truck waiting for us. I got some cool new sponsors for it. Everyone's a real buzz. We filmed all the stuff, and we wanted to like show people like behind the scenes of how tough it is, what goes into it. Even like from like we're staying in a hotel room together in the middle of this. It's like, it's funny because I had so many people like, I can't believe you were staying in the same hotel room. Like, Red Bull are not paying you guys enough. You deserve more than this. And I had to sort of communicate like that we chose to stay in a hotel room together. It's like the boys in the hotel having a wicked time, whatever. Nice. But there's a huge amount that goes into it. And I'm going on a tangent, but it's been our life for a long time, and it's and this year was a bit of a stinger how it all ended.
Do you miss like the old original days of what Rampage kind of was, and what I think many of us think Rampage should be? Or is?
But I don't think I ever experienced it properly. Okay. Because like I said, I've only got good memories from it, even though some results, and even like we go away and it's like, oh, Brendan's been robbed. It's like when we come away, I was gutted this time, especially. I was gutted for an hour, and I was like, shit, that's gutting, like all that effort and work, and the judges haven't appreciated what we've done or whatever. It's different. And after an hour, completely fine. Okay. Because we'd put 100% effort in, and they didn't leave anything. I missed one trick at the bottom, but I put 100% effort in. I was completely happy with how I rode. I like flipping that canyon I really didn't want to do, and even up to the last minute I was like, I don't want to risk it. I've like got 2 lovely kids at home, a wife. I want to go and do cool adventure trips on my bike. I don't want to hurt myself beyond having to ride my bike. And I was real weighing it up whether I should do it or not. And then I did it, and I was stoked. And like even after when I landed, like my whole body just like my energy went from the 2 weeks. There's an end to it. So there's an end day, and as soon as I landed that flip, I just went jelly, and then I had to ride down like Geordie's thing, and I was like, I knew I had this jump at the end that I wanted to do a flip trick on, flip combo, whatever, and I just couldn't. I was like, I've just done the dream run. I don't want to like cock it up on this trick that I learned the day before.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So a huge amount of emotion and stuff, but yeah, it was gutting this year, and then obviously certain things happened after with people riding the line, and then I've just seen today people riding other people's lines there, and it's just like it's a bummer, but it's like it's cool that it's like flattering they chose our line, to
I mean,
ride
they've not put the work in, I guess.
But yeah, it's what it is like it's not our line. I'm just too emotionally attached to this line that we've like literally kicked stones out down for 6 weeks and like moved rocks and like tuned up. But yeah, no, I'm it's a whirlwind of emotions. It's cool though.